Approaching the summer of 2024, I wanted a new challenge, something big. And after releasing my first game on Steam and competing in my first game jam, I was feeling ready to work on something more ambitious. But what would that be, I thought? And to figure this out, I went straight to the source and started exploring some new games that I hadn't played before to get some inspiration. Little did I know, these two games were about to change the entire trajectory of my year. God of War reminded me why I love games. Hopping on the bandwagon 6 years after release, I wasn't sure what to expect. But this game is nothing short of a masterpiece. The combat is incredibly satisfying, with its weapons carefully crafted to make each fight feel both impactful and fluid. The story, rich with emotional depth and complex characters, exploring themes like dealing with loss, fatherhood, change, and redemption. The grand landscapes with the attention of detail. The fun challenges, from intricate puzzles to epic enemies and bosses. All this brought together into the fascinating world of Norse mythology. And with God of War Ragnarok's Steam release just around the corner, I will be making sure I'm first in line to get it. In stark contrast, Lethal Company offers a vastly different experience. A co-op horror game made by one person, about exploring and collecting scrap of seemingly abandoned moons to satisfy the company. Unfortunately, these eerie corridors aren't as abandoned as they seem, as they become littered with monsters as the night approaches. Even though this game doesn't excel in graphics or story, it shines through with its amazing game loop, multiplayer systems, and proximity chat. This game shows that with creativity, consistency, and solid gameplay, you can create a great game, no matter the budget or team size. Inspired by these games, I began brainstorming ideas for my next project. Planning is crucial for developing a big game, so I use tools like Notion and Lucidchart to organize my ideas and research, creating detailed pages and diagrams for each aspect of the game. My research led me to gain a deeper understanding of Norse mythology, and having a well-established mythos to base your game on is extremely helpful, as it reduces the need to create extensive lore from scratch. Drawing from this rich source, my game takes form as a co-op action-adventure, where players embark on a journey across all 9 realms, tasked with retrieving mystical items to repay a debt owed to Odin and reclaim their freedom. Welcome to Trials of Odin. With the basic game concept down, I began 3D modeling, creating a Viking character, rigging him in Mixamo, and giving him some animations. Then designing the hub room for realm travel. For realm traversal, the Bifrost, which usually only connects Asgard and Midgard, shoots into the Yggdrasil door, which is a tree said to span all 9 realms, and once this door opens, you arrive at the selected realm. When approaching making a large game, prioritizing efficient workflows is crucial, and to achieve this, I focused on creating tools that are both customizable and scalable. One key tool I developed is the hierarchical state machine, and this tool allows me to organize state-specific logic into distinct modules. For example, with the player, I have 3 base states: grounded, ascending, and falling. Each of these base states includes substates that define the specific actions that the player can perform in that situation. This setup accelerates both development and debugging, as I can focus on each state at a time. Using this same setup for enemies, I also allow this machine to switch out module logic. This allows me to create unique enemy attack patterns and strategies. Additionally, the state machine can take in contextual information such as movement speeds, walkable surfaces, and the currently equipped weapon, changing how it will execute certain logic. The combat system I developed makes each weapon inherit a generic weapon structure with all the needed functionalities. It also allows the assignment of different attack animations for that weapon. This design means that the state machine can request specific attacks, and the weapon will perform the corresponding animations seamlessly. The combat system also supports attack buffering, allowing the player to queue up future attacks during an animation. This means that if the player initiates another attack while a previous attack animation is still playing, the system will seamlessly transition to the next attack in the combo. This setup makes it straightforward to add new weapons to the game. Additionally, the animations include events that activate and deactivate the weapon colliders at precise moments, ensuring that the damage is only dealt when intended. To save time during the initial stages, I utilize Unity's assets for prototyping. These pre-made assets allow me to quickly iterate on gameplay mechanics and level design, ensuring that the core experience was both fun and engaging without spending too much time creating everything from scratch. I hope to and have been altering and swapping these assets out for my own. Developing solid enemy AI was a key focus area. The enemy has 4 core states: patrol, chase, attack, and search. Patrol is the default state, which the enemy is in while passive. If the player walks into the line of sight of the enemy, it will enter the chase state, where it tries to get close enough to the player to attack. If the player walks out of the line of sight, the enemy will search and walk towards the last position it saw the player and look around. Building off this enemy AI, I went to work on the first boss in my game, which is the Draugr King. This boss can close distance by jumping towards the player, do area of effect attacks by ground slamming, summon Draugrs to help him on his fight, stomp if the player gets too close, and multiple menacing sword attacks. This helps to create a varied and fun fight. For world design, I start by grey boxing each area to determine its purpose, such as combat, parkour, shops, resting, or boss encounters. As I develop this game, I progressively build out and populate the areas. For instance, in this opening section of Midgard, I aim to create a welcoming atmosphere, but as the player approaches the boss fight, the forest becomes increasingly eerie and desolate. In the coming months, I am focusing on getting proper multiplayer functionality up and running, improving enemy AI and boss fights and their various stages, designing more of Midgard, adding more weapons and playable characters, upgrading the character controller, adding immersive sound effects and enhancing the VFX, and overall just juicing up the game to make it feel fantastic. I also plan to start streaming game development, and if you're interested in following along and supporting my work, please like and subscribe to stay updated, and don't forget to check out my previous game, Bent Vipers, available on Steam, and it's currently on sale. If you have any suggestions for features or mechanics, now is the perfect time to share them in the comments, as this game is in its early stages, so adjustments are easier to make. The future is bright, with many exciting developments ahead, so it's time to get to work. I'll catch you in the next devlog, where I hopefully have a lot more cool things to show you. But until then, it's bye for now.